I know it's only 2025 at the moment, guys. We've just got into 2025, but there are some really decent looking horror films that are coming out in 2026. So here are 10 horror films that I'm most looking forward to in 2026. Just like any most anticipated lists on YouTube, the years that these movies come out can change or they could be cancelled altogether. So the list that I'm giving you just now is a list that apparently these 10 films will be out in 2026, but that remains to be seen as a long way away as well. So maybe some of them might creep into maybe the end of 2025, maybe the start of 2027, or maybe they won't come out at all. But as it stands, these are the 10 films that I'm most looking forward to in 2026. First up, we've got Soulmates, and this is due out on the 2nd of January 2026. And I'm hearing that this could be the beginning of a universe movie featuring Megan, which Megan's coming out in 2025, or Megan 2. So this could be some sort of Megan universe film that's coming out, apparently. We don't know for sure. And it's about this guy who buys an AI robot to replace his deceased wife. That's all we know at this time. Sounds interesting. If they can mix the Megan films in with this one successfully, then we could be looking at a decent horror film. Next up, we've got 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. That's due out on the 16th of January 2026. That's a definite confirmed release date. Obviously, things can change depending on the success or failure of the first part of this new trilogy that's supposed to be coming out. This one's going to be directed by Nia DaCosta, and it will star Cillian Murphy. I know that the next one in 2025 won't star Cillian Murphy. It might feature him, but he's going to be apparently the main character in the Bone Temple. So if that one's going to be good in 2025, then I'm so excited for the next one. Also on the 16th of January, we have Weapons. This one's directed by Zach Kreger, who also directed Barbarian. This is going to be his follow-up to Barbarian, not a sequel, but his horror follow-up. I loved Barbarian. I loved the style that he gave us with Barbarian, so I'm really looking forward to Weapons as well. Weapons is going to be about the disappearance of a high school student, and it stars Josh Brolin and Julia Garner, who was in Wolfman and Ozark. On the 27th of February 2026, we have Scream 7. Now, this one is one that should come out on the date that it says. I know that Scream 6 came out possibly a week or two earlier than initially released or initially mentioned, so it could be the same with Scream 7. If it comes out any earlier than the 27th of February, then fair enough. But this one is due then. Not much that we know about it at the moment. We know that some of the characters are coming back. We know that the new actors that are coming in, and we know that Kevin Williamson will be directing this one. He's not writing it, he's just directing this one. So really looking forward to Scream 7. I'm probably looking forward to Scream 7 more than I was looking forward to Scream 6. And hopefully I won't be as disappointed in Scream 7 as I was in Scream 6. Next up, we've got The Exorcist that's due out on the 13th of March 2026. This is going to be the next Exorcist film, but it's not going to be a follow-up to David Gordon Green's Exorcist. That Exorcist trilogy got cancelled after the failure of the Exorcist that he brought out, The Believer. So this isn't going to be called The Deceiver, nothing like that. This one's going to be directed by Mike Flanagan. Love what Mike Flanagan does. I love his style of directing as well. Everything that he's done has been good. There's not been anything that's been bad directed by Mike Flanagan. So hopefully we're going to get possibly our first really good Exorcist movie since Exorcist 3. Next, we've got The Mummy that's due on the 17th of April 2026. This is going to be directed by Lee Cronin. He gave us some teasers of a film that he's going to be directing in 2026, and then he eventually revealed that he will be directing The Mummy, and he also said it's not going to be a comedy, it's going to be a straight up horror film, and it leads me to believe that this could be the third movie in this monster universe, where we had The Invisible Man, then we've got The Wolfman that was 2025, and then this could be the third film in this little universe that they're building up. Hopefully they don't do it like the MCU, but they give us kind of nods to the previous films, and who knows, guys, if this is successful like Wolfman and The Invisible Man, then we could be looking at an Avengers-style finale, and we could possibly call it The Monster Squad.
We're the Monster Squad.
On the 23rd of October 2026, we have Jordan Peele's untitled horror film. All we know is the release date, the 23rd of October, and we know that it is a horror film. That is enough for a lot of people to be intrigued and be excited for a Jordan Peele film. I didn't really like Nope, but I liked Get Out and Us, so I'm looking forward to whatever he brings next. Hopefully it's different to what he's given us before. That's a good thing about Jordan Peele, is that he's given us a completely different movie every single time, and they've had a lot of horror elements in them as well. But this one apparently is a straight up horror film. Maybe it'll be completely different to Nope. Even though Nope was kind of horror, it was more sci-fi than anything else, whereas Us was probably his most horror film. So this one I'm really looking forward to. Next up, we've got Wolf Creek Legacy, or Wolf Creek 3. Now this one was supposed to go into production before COVID, then during COVID, and then it got scrapped and then brought back up again, and to the point where we didn't know when this one was coming out. So there's no guarantee that this one's coming out in 2026, but I'm hearing through the grapevine that this is definitely coming now. Now, if they get the act together fast, we could be looking at a late 2025 release. But if everything's going the way it has been going, then if it's definitely coming out, we could be looking most likely at a 2026 release year. Don't know what month it's coming out. All we know at this moment in time is 2026 is the likely year. Next up, we have Scary Movie 6. We don't know anything about that either, other than it's coming out in 2026. That doesn't have a month of release. All we know is the year that's coming out. What's it going to be about? I'm going to assume that it's going to be about these legacy sequels that have been coming out recently, thick and fast, ever since the release of Halloween in 2018. Movies that are taking the titles of the original films, but not calling them remakes or reboots. They're just calling them legacy sequels. So I'm guessing that that's what Scary Movie 6 is going to be about. But all we know, like I said, it is coming out in 2026, and the Wayans brothers are coming back for it. Last but no least on the list, we have They Follow, which is the sequel to one of the best horror films ever made, in my opinion. It Follows. Now, this is similar to Wolf Creek in that 2026 seems like the likely release year that it's coming out. But if they can get their act together fast, get into production fast, then we could possibly be looking at a 2025 release year, as in late 2025. But it's looking like 2026 because I think Micah Monroe is quite busy at the moment. Don't know when the film is going to begin. If film begins soon, then possibly 2025. But I think it's safe to say that 2026 is most likely going to be the release year for They Follow. I don't know what it's going to be about. When they call it They Follow, I don't know if it's just a quick play on It Follows. Then you've got They Follow because it is a second movie, or is They Follow intentional because there's going to be more than one of these STDs that are after the people? No idea, but because I absolutely love It Follows, I don't care what They Follow is about, because David Robert Mitchell's back to direct and Micah Monroe is back to star. So as it stands, guys, that's the 10 most anticipated horror movies of 2026. In my opinion, if they all come out in 2026, then that could stay the same. But like I said, for 2025, films come and go. Films can get cancelled at any time, delayed to another year, or there's movies that are coming out that we just don't know about until they're released. That happens quite a lot, and it's happened every year for the past few years. So don't rule out any surprises that come and go on this list. And I will redo this list when the time comes, as this is only 2025, of course, so we've still got over a year to go for most of these movies. But that's the 10 that I'm looking forward to. But what about you guys? What do you think of the 10 on this list? Do you think they're all coming out eventually in 2026? Or is there anything else that you know is coming out in 2026 that I haven't discussed? Leave that list down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the